All right, welcome back to Stock Tricks with Nick for this week's midweek movers episode. Typically, we have these live streams on Wednesday night, but we're going to push it to Tuesday night, and we have plenty to talk about uh, between Q4 earnings, the market bouncing back, and the watch list that I've prepared for you guys, and then from Stocktwits, I've gotten about 10 other stocks to be covered. So, if this is the first time you're joining the live stream, my name is Nick. This is Stock Tricks with Nick. We do the live stream in the middle of the week. I have a trading recap on Friday going over how my watch lists, how they fared in the week, how I did, and how our TikTok trading challenge did. So, and then on Sunday morning, forgot to add that, we do a breakout watch list of about 15 to 20 stocks with breakout potential each week. So, with that being said, give me a follow on Stocktwits. That's where I post most often, Twitter and TikTok. If you're watching this after the stream and you wanted to just come for a specific stock, there's going to be timestamps in the comment section, so you guys can just click on that and go right to what you want to see. Yeah, so I did get some stocks from Stocktwits and Twitter already, but please use the chat and we'll get to as many stocks as we can in hour 15. So some big news coming out of Q4 earnings, and that is Amazon announced that Jeff Bezos is going to be stepping down as CEO. He'll still stay on as a chairman, so it's not like he's going to be completely gone from Amazon. But man, if he's leaving, he's leaving right on top because they had another really strong earnings. So let's jump really quick to their after hours move. Believe, oops, believe they were up 0.5%, yeah, 0.3% so far after hours. So the news that he's stepping down as CEO is not doing too much in the after hours market. We'll see how everything shakes out come market open tomorrow. Google right now is up 8%. So remember last week we had Tesla, Apple, Facebook report earnings. Market was really frothy. Everything pulled down on earnings. Monday came around. We had not as much volume on the bounce back, but certain sectors got a really nice bounce, and it looks like with Amazon holding steady, Google turning up, maybe some of the money and the focus leaving the GameStop, BlackBerry, AMC stuff, coming back into growth names. I mean, maybe we just push higher from here, and that's why. One, I need to be flexible as a trader. You guys should be flexible as a trader because even though the market was looking really, really extended, and we did get a pullback. But I mean, if this is the only pullback we need before quality setups are starting to pop, we get some breakouts that are holding, then the confidence comes back into the market and we can start fresh from there. So that's kind of my plan going into the rest of the week. We've seen some breakouts hold. Not many things are giving back gains. So we definitely want to work on our progressive exposure, not just putting on all the positions at once. Oh, market's good. Let's put everything back in. Because if you, in one day, put all your positions back on and the market does flush down, well, then you just stepped into a weak market that was just kind of dead cat bouncing. I don't think we're in for that, but it's not about what I think. It's about what the market's going to do. So that's why we want to slowly add on to positions, add on the number of positions that we're trading as the market's strong, as we get some profit going through some buys. Let's see. Let's jump to. Oh yeah, first, quick disclaimer. Anything that I say is not financial advice, not stock advice, own personal opinion, and this is for educational purposes only. Trading comes with extreme financial risk. Please do your own due diligence before trading. All right, so here's our stock lineup for the week, or for the live stream. I do have a couple more on the breakout watch list that I'll get to than this, but they're quicker names. This is going to be the main list that I'm looking at going into the rest of the week. And then these are the stocks I got requested from Stocktwits. So if you don't see one of the stocks that you wanted to talk about on either of these lists, please drop it in the chat and we'll get to that. All right, so every week I use E-Trade to break down the charts for you guys. and I am just completely fed up with them. It's a really terrible service. Usually by the time I get to these live streams, everyone's off E-Trade and for some reason their servers start to work better. But you could see here, if I go, I don't know, Amazon, that'll start to work. But the more names that we put in, it'll just shut down and there it goes. So I'm done with E-Trade. I've moved my money from E-Trade to TD Ameritrade. That's worked well so far this week, but just like as a trader, and we're trying to limit as much risk as possible. Not just price risk, not just volatility risk, like we talked about in the last trading recap, but also I'm a trader on a new trading platform. I don't know exactly how everything works. I'm not 100% comfortable. So any new trades that I'm putting on right now, even though the market's like we're working on progressive exposure, even if the market was in full uptrend right now, I would want to be a little bit careful with my position sizing. So moved everything to TD Ameritrade, and for the live stream today, we'll be using stock charts. So I started using stock charts maybe 2 months ago or so. Main reason, they create this really nice candle glance feature where you can put in your entire watch list or the stocks that you're holding, and it'll put together this list where you can see every single chart that you're looking at watching. And then you can click in and go right into that chart. So I really like this website, and this is what we're going to be using for the live stream today. So let's get to it. ACB. Got to adjust this one thing. All right, ACB. So one sector that has been working extremely well has been the cannabis sector. What were the two that went today? GRWG was strong. Tilray, TLRY, very strong. What was the other one? I know Mike's in the chat telling me what I'm missing. Man, forgetting it. But so let's look at this same kind of same name, or sorry, same group. We had a really strong move up here. So we had a move of 300% from that from the low to the high here, and then we went through a pullback. First pullback measures around 55%. Then we extended. Second pullback to the low here, 33%. We had this mini pullback here, but we'll count the larger one, 24%, and then just a 2-day pullback, 13%. That would have set up a buy point today. I didn't take the trade today, but I'm still looking at this for a possible buy point. Let me switch this over. If we open lower tomorrow, or lower than the high point, and then take out the high, that's going to be my buy point on this, because we do have kind of a diagonal resistance point between the high from, let's see, what day is this? November 9th, coming through this pullback, and you see pullback to the 20-day simple moving average. That's this green line here. Got nice and tight. Volume really on our side as this moved over what could have been a buy point through the high from, let's see, that would have been Friday's high. But if we open lower, take out the high today, that's going to be my possible buy point. And that is ACB. Next, we have AIRG. Let's get set up. All right, so this one, I think technically it breaks the high tide flag rule. So this is 114.8% up since early December, mid-December. And then from there, we had just about a 25% pullback. So high tide flags are 90% or more in 8 weeks or less, with a pullback within 25% of the highs. So that shorter pullback, especially those pullbacks that happen on lower volume, just shows you less traders are disagreeing with that type of move. And if it holds within 25% and volume does what we're expecting, you could buy a little bit quicker in the name. So after that 24% pullback, you see really good volume coming in on this expansion day where we undercut the low and rallied. That could have been a buy point where it's pulling back to the 8-day, and then you have a flush, undercut the flush, and then rally back up. Again, because the market's been shaky, I've been very cautious with my own trades, so it didn't take that. But since then, it moved up, and now it's flagging out even more here. So just right through here, we're looking, especially if we can get an undercut of today's low. So the stock price opens, then we take out the low, shaking the trades out that are getting that got in too early in this flag, and then overtake the high. That's my favorite type of setup because it does shake out those short-term traders. Maybe they move on to the next setup, and then it quickly rallies and goes from there. So looking for a break over today's high as a possible buy point, which is 24.32. All right, that is AIRG. Next we have AMRS. Another very strong move up. This was 540% up, so obviously doing some right things here. The 200-day just started to get in an uptrend since December, so one of the things that I look for is the 200-day in an uptrend for at least 1 month. That's a Mark Minervini rule that I have adopted. Now we have the 200-day, the 50-day, the 8-day, or 20-day and 8-day, all in the right order. We had this, I think it was about a 28% pullback. So because this chart scrunches everything at the top, it's not as tight of a pullback as you would expect, or as you see like from the chart, but 28% did pull back right to the 20-day simple moving average, and then has just traded very tightly since there. Today it looked like it was gonna kind of break out and move, but just stuck right on the converging point of the 8-day and the 20-day. This is one where I might give this, because we kind of broke the high tight flag rules, I might give this some time to set like a second pullback and undercut the low here. I didn't mean to measure that, but if we can undercut the pullbacks low, stop out those traders, and then take off from there. So this might be a setup that I put on the breakout watch list going into next week. But I mean, notice the volume. If we get good volume on a break of today's high, which was 1033, then maybe you put the trade on. But ideally, we get an undercut of the low in this pullback before this really sets up nicely. So that's AMRS. Next, we have one that was on my breakout watch list going into the week, which was BEEM. Let's see, percent change. Really strong move, 440% up. One thing I do want to point out is this down red day. Let's see. Man, that flushed 33% on one day. That's definitely concerning. It came on high volume too, so that's one strike against the chart. But just because a chart has one strike, we don't want to completely throw it away. But we're always trying to add probability to our side as traders and then take a trade with strict risk management. There's not going to be absolutes in trading. Anyone who says the stock has to go to this price is a person you have got to stop listening to, because there's no for sure's in trading, and that's why we use stops. That's why we take some profit on the way up, and that's why we manage risk. So this one pulled back, had a second pullback that we haven't quite undercut the low from, what day is this? The 4th, January 4th low. But during this kind of mini pullback, we did undercut that guy. And then today, it's just, this past week, it's been trading very light volume, or past 5 trading days, very light volume as it puts in a slightly lower low than the previous week. What I would be looking for is to take out some of the kind of second pullback here's high. So that would be the 66.14 price right through here on January 21st high. So let me mark that. Like right through there. This will give it some room to get over the 20-day and get over a mini volume shelf that I saw on Thinkorswim before we get into the trade. Otherwise, if you just take it with the break over today's high, you might have some sellers at the 20-day or some sellers that got in here and just want to get off the trade at break even. So this is BEEM. All right, let's go. Link BLNK. This one is a pullback buy that I did today. I don't typically do pullback buys, so again, tried this with very, very light light position size. But this is a name that I've been able to trade a couple times, so I feel a little bit more comfortable with it. I have profit from a move down here that extended up. I traded this breakout, basically stopped break even on this kind of move because it came back, and then quickly bought this breakout and sold most into strength there. So I have some profit to play around with the name. What I did with the trade today was after it broke down, undercut the 20-day and undercut yesterday's low, when it ran back up and recaptured yesterday's low price, that's when I put the trade on as a possible pullback buy. Typically, you want to wait till it breaks over the previous day's high. But a couple names were really starting to work. I wanted to get some exposure back into the market, a little bit progressive exposure, but this is a name that the volume's doing everything right on extensions. It's heavy volume. Pullbacks, very, very quiet. Look at this last 4 days. 4 days? Yeah, 4-day pullback to the 20-day. Almost no volume on that. And then the 1 day we do kind of puncture and then run back up. Comes on higher volume. So maybe a name where maybe I get stopped out. Maybe it does even undercut today's low and then capture the high of the day. But yeah, it depends on what your trading strategy is. Maybe you want to wait a little bit to the high of 52.89, which is Monday's high price. All right, that's BLNK. Let's go CLNE. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please leave a like on the video. That helps me out tremendously. Man, this channel's been growing so fast, so I do appreciate all the support. I feel like we struggled for I don't know, about a year or so, and then just quickly everything changed. So I appreciate those people who stuck by when I first started. All right, so this one, I traded this on this breakout before, so had some profit. Man, this would have been a nice entry too. So this chart keeps on setting up really well for breakouts. I did take this trade, got stopped out on the next day when it pulled down. So I've been trading this name a lot actually. Since then, it has pulled back on lower volume. The last 2 volume days, so Monday and Tuesday, extremely light volume. So I'll just be looking for a break over, I think that would be Thursday's high of 1120. It's the high from this day right here as a possible buy point. Let me zoom down a little bit. You see the really light volume on Monday and Tuesday. So got the 20-day simple moving average holding support there, have not closed under the 20. But right now we're kind of in between the 20 and the 8-day exponential moving average. But volume's doing all the right things, and this is a name in a strong uptrend, 250, 28, all in the right order. This is CLNE. CTRN. This is one that it might need a little bit more time to work and does trade on very thin volume. So if you have a larger account, maybe this isn't the trade for you. And if you're putting on a position, you just got to make sure you size it correctly, because if things start working against you and you get stopped out, you might not get stopped out at exactly your same price. You might have some slippage on the trade. So always be careful on thinner traded names for slippage. This one moved up 150% in a couple weeks, pulled back only 16%. So high tight flag, 20-day simple moving average. 20-day simple moving average holding up really well. And then you see there's a couple ways you could play this. I guess if you look at the diagonal, we did break over that today. But when the market's just starting to get strong again after a pullback, I typically wait for a flat top entry. I say that after my entry on BLNK, but you have a couple daily highs. This one, January 28th, high of 60.07 as a possible buy point there. Good volume on the one up day here as it bounced off the 20-day. Not ideal volume in the pullback. There's a little bit heavier selling volume than you would like to see, but that's why we're buying on the way out, not just randomly during a pullback, because we have no idea how long a pullback is going to happen for. So make sure it goes over that buy point, and make sure when it does, or as it's going, you're seeing larger than average volume coming in with the name. CTRN, very thin. Make sure you size correctly. Next we have FTHM. Let me hit the annotate. So this is one that Leif's program traded before. I think it was through here that he bought, and then we just ran it back up. Had a couple of flushes here. I love this, the candle. Let's see, what day is this? January 25th candle. Got to get better at moving down. Sorry, new system. We got to get used to this. Pulled down, undercut all the lows. Maybe not this guy's low. Let's see. Low price 31.86, low price 32.13. So not quite undercutting that low, but anyone who bought in this base got stopped out on this candle. And since then, just moved slightly lower, but on very little volume as it consolidates here. So as we ran this back up, volume got heavy. Probably some of the volume's on the way down. Some of it is running it back up. I don't know which way had more volume, but now this is holding pretty steady. You could go with just a diagonal buy point, so basically breaking over today's high. But again, I will be waiting for a flat top break of, we have two daily highs that are pretty similar, 37 and, wait, no, not 37. Read that wrong. 41.03 and 40.95. Sorry, I think I might have been reading the high prices incorrectly. So 40.95 and 41.03. So break over 41.03 is the possible buy point. That's FTHM. Yeah, I see your guys' comments. We'll run back to some of those charts in a second. Let's just get through the rest of the list. This one's going to be really quick. GILT. I don't think it's quite set up yet. Typically, you need, what is it, 7 candles from the high? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe it is ready to go. It's just starting to get to the 8-day exponential moving average. Volume's getting lighter as it pulls back, so you like to see that. Really good volume days as it extended from $5 to 15. So maybe one that's just checking back, and then you go, let's see, go with the high here, 1235 as a possible buy point in this lower pivot. What I would love to see is a day where we move lower quickly, undercut the lows, and then move high. Like shake this pullback out so any of the weak hands are out of the trade, and then prove yourself. Typically with those the quicker pullbacks, that's what I'll wait to see, especially in a shaky market. Because I want to play this name, but if this is one that's going to kind of do the opposite and fake higher, pull back lower, I don't want to be involved with that. All right, so that was GILT, sorry. Next we have GP. I think this was on my breakout watch list. This is kind of checking all the boxes for me, so definitely a name that I will be interested in trading this week. We had a 300% move off the highs. This is an IPO, and then even in this cup and handle we formed here, so up 97% on the way up, pulled back only 22%, so it's an IPO, high tide flag, and really doing all the right things that you look for. Whoops. Volume, very light on kind of this pullback. And I think there is a little bit of, not quite. I was thinking there might be confluence of indicators where you get a diagonal lining up with a flat pivot. And those are kind of the best because two different systems are working the same angle. So you always, I mean, if you can match up different systems, that's just more buyers behind your trade. So if we can undercut the low and then go off today's high, that would be buyable. That's 31.35. That's something that I'll be looking for. If we just break over the high, I'll probably put on a starting position just because, I mean, this has the right kind of setup that I'm looking for. We did undercut the first pullback in the handle with the candle on the 27th too. So this is checking all of my boxes. So if I get in, I'm going to get in. If it doesn't undercut today's low and just goes, I'll get in with the smaller size and then add to it if I have some profits to work with. This is GP. All right, next we have MVIS. So we had a 550% move up, a 50% pullback, and then from here a 20% pullback. So starting to show the VCP characteristics, volatility contraction pattern that Minervini talks about. Might be a little bit early, but it is setting up this nice diagonal, kind of a cup and handle. You got the 200-day, the 50-day, 20 and 8 all doing the right thing. Volume doing the right thing. And with this kind of move, I mean, this went from like $1.50, which I don't trade stocks under $5. So wasn't on my list during this move. Then we went through this pullback and set the trade up. Now it's at $7.50 or whatever. But a break over today's high of 813, that's my possible buy point on this one. Might need some time to trade sideways. Maybe we pick this up on Mondays or on Sunday's watch list for the next week. But definitely one to put on a watch list, set some alerts so you're prepared to trade it. MVIS. Another one that might be a little bit early, but has been such a strong name that wanted to call it out here was NNDM. So you see this is not a one-to-one scale. One goes from $3 to $18. So 570% move on the way up here. Since the high, we've pulled back 27%. So does fail the high tide flag standard, but I mean, a lot of power on the name. It seems like the names that were working just before, while the market was frothy and only a select few stocks were really working, those are the names coming back again. So JMIA, what was the other couple ones? I'm totally blanking on it, but this was one that was working really well before we got the pullback. So let's see if that kind of lower relative volume pullback can work in our favor. You have 4 days. Oops, on the wrong one. You have 4 daily highs basically at the same price through here. Let's see. 15.15, 15.13, 15.18. So break over 15.18 could be a possible buy point. Or if this can pull back, I mean, you know I love undercutting the pullback low before it sets up again. So I'm going to have some alerts set, maybe take it with a smaller position size, and then if it flushes me out, then it's a small loss until it sets up again. But I mean, this kind of power, you don't want to ignore it. You want to have this on your watch list. NNDM. All right, let's go OMI and annotate. So really kind of choppy trading here. Not a high tide flag, but if I zoom out to the 6 month, which I'm not super quick at just yet on this, but want to point out, so this was a 43% move. That's some power behind the name. It's been in a very strong uptrend, such a strong uptrend that you don't even see the 200-day simple moving average on this chart. You just got the 50 and the 8 and the 20 are basically right at where today's low bounced off of, so that's good to see. First pullback here was 15%, and then the second pullback actually undercut that low, so kind of doing the opposite of the VCP setup, but 15%, 19%, had a mini rally, pulled back again, 13%, and now we're on like the second half of the, I should do it this way, second half of the base here, and had a couple pullbacks there. And now we had 3 daily highs right at the same price, right through here. So that's your possible buy point if we break through those highs. So that's 30.14, 30.15, 30.15 within a cent of each other. Really low volume the last couple of days. We bounced at the 8, we bounced at the 20-day with the low today. So set your alert a little bit lower than that so you can buy on that breakout. This is OMI. And I know these are, I'm going through a lot of stocks. I'm not planning on taking every single one of these trades if you're new to the channel. I'm setting alerts for all these trades and then watching what trades have the best relative volume on the day. And those are the trades that I want to be taking as they're breaking over some of the buy points that I'm covering. Because again, I don't want to be just buying during a pullback because one, as a swing trader, I only want my money in stocks that are actually working right now. Otherwise, I'd rather have my money on the sidelines where it's not at risk. If I'm buying during a pullback, there's a different stock that I could have that money in that's actually extending right now. So always buying on the way out, never just completely on the way back. So next we have PENN National Gaming. This has been kind of the comeback kid in 2020, up 107% since just, what is that, November something? Early November. Had a first pullback through here, 11%, and then look at that, we undercut that first pullback, 16%, and now we are getting a, I guess, we did break over the daily highs here today and then closed right at that number. If we can open lower and then take out the high from today, 111.45, that's your possible buy point on that. Don't love the volume on this flush day, but it did hold at the 20-day simple moving average. Most of the volume bars on the way up were the right type of volume, like mostly on green days. So definitely with DraftKings starting to get going again, now shift our focus to a similar name with PENN. I'm not going to do any measuring here, but PLSE probably needs a couple more days, maybe another flush here, but really good volume on the extension. I mean, we went from $12 to $36, so that's going to be 200% return or so. Had a nice flush on, what day is that? On Friday, rallied back up, and you see, actually, yeah, let me just do that. You see kind of the flat top that we're working with. If we can take out today's low and then break out over the highs, that's going to be my buy point. Otherwise, I'm going to let this kind of trend down to the right, see if the 20-day simple moving average coming up can provide support. But if it goes right away, I'm going to want it to undercut a low before I trade it. Let's see how many are left. PLUG, man, this one has been very, very strong. Not giving up much room at all. Let's do some measuring. So we had a 440% move since November, mid-November. Let's see. No, since late October. So late October to the beginning of the year, a 440% move. We pulled back, rallied, and now kind of creating this cup and a low handle, or maybe you call it a, I don't know, not a double bottom because we're still so far extended, but um, really just kind of flagging out nicely here. Low volume as we trend sideways. 20-day simple moving average is starting to come up. That could provide some support for another breakout. Only increased selling volume was on the 28th of January, and even that was more of a doji, not a bad looking sell-off day or anything like that. So I'll probably take this with Friday's high that was 67.15 as a possible buy point, or one of my favorite setups. If we can undercut the low, take out the high of yesterday, then we could put the trade on there. That would be 64.93. PLUG. Yeah, relative strength held up really well compared to QQQ during the pullback there. So always trying to trade the strong stocks, getting stronger. RCKT had this on. I don't know if this is ready to go yet or if it's kind of already extended. Working on like a slight diagonal. There's a volume shelf. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take this off. I was hesitant to put this on. It looks good. It had the right type of move here, and we did look like we were setting up here and then flush undercut the lows. But I don't know. Something about the low volume move today something about the low volume move today is making me too cautious on this. And I mean, if we're in a very strong market, if we're bouncing back and everything's good, then we could be picky with our setups. We should always be picky with our setups. But yeah, something about the low volume move today is making me a little bit cautious on this. So I want to take it off now. Part of the reason I love doing the live streams because I'm talking through my own trade ideas, and then if I can't convince myself of a good trade, I mean, well, why trade? Um, why not just trade the best setups? If we covered 15 quality setups and one I was hesitant on, no need to take that trade. So this one, REKR up 309% since middle of November. Might be a little bit early on this, but 15% pullback, so high tight flag through here. Volumes decreasing, ATR, average true range, getting tighter. Maybe we let the 20-day do its work, move up a little bit, but I mean this looks really good, doing all the right things. I would probably wait for the break over January 29th high. That would be just $13 flat as a possible buy point. REKR. Now we're going to skip Resi. Next we have SKLZ. This is one that I traded, let's see, kind of during this diagonal, we had a nice undercut of the previous lows, and then Kathy Wood stepped in and said, oh, I'm buying this stock. So, of course, it rocketed out the next day. So it closed around 18. I took it with a break over the high, I think on this previous day, ran it up, good profit, sold into strength as I was just peeling off all my positions, going like selling into the market strength. Since then, it's held up really well. 16, 17% down, not looking bad. Hasn't even tested the 20-day moving average. And outside of this one volume bar on January 27th, doing all the right things. Good volume on the extensions, very light volumes on any pullback days. So this one does now have, don't mean to measure, 3 daily highs right around the same price. So we open lower, take out, or today's high, sorry, not yesterday's high, take out today's high, 29.34. That's your possible buy point on that one. SKLZ. And I think this is the last one, TGTX, one that I have been trading a couple times. Actually, not losing much, even though most of the trades have been losers, just because I sell into strength, quickly move my stop to my entry on any breakouts, but had a 115% move up, pulled back 12% at first, and then we flushed a little bit lower, but still only 17% pullback. Nothing too scary with that. Had this fake breakout. This was one of the days that I really loaded up on this trade. It got out, sold some into strength, moved my stop to my entry, then got stopped out of the rest. But this looked really good to go. And I think everyone had their eyes on it. So of course, when everyone's watching, waiting for the same move, the market will do the opposite. Flushed lower, even undercut the pullback low there, and now it's starting to turn up. Want to see the volume switch. So we had 2 red volume days that were higher than any of the green bounces. So definitely want to give it some room to prove itself. Maybe a break over the high from January 26th. That would be 5140 as a possible, 5140 as a possible buy point. And then with that, we would be moving over the 20-day simple moving average as well. So that is TGTX, and I want to say that's the last one. No, UAVS, sorry. One more, another one that I've traded in the past. Definitely thanks to Leif Serrata's system. Really strong move through here, 528%. We traded just trend line, just the move through here. I think we even got it lower. It's probably a diagonal entry, or he probably got it lower. I got it a little bit higher through here, but strong move. I think I got around an average of 50% on the trade, but it was a 90% move overall, like selling into strength. But I got about a 50% return on the trade. Since then, it has pulled down pretty strong, 38%. So typically, once you get a move like that, you want to see a couple of weeks of sideways action. But it did so on such little volume. And then the one update we had yesterday came on such high volume. And today was followed by an inside candle closing in the upper half of yesterday's move. So even though I typically want to wait a little bit longer for these types of setups after you pull back 35%, this has a lot of power. I already have some profit on the name, so I wouldn't feel bad about putting on a small position, getting stopped out and being proven wrong, waiting for the rest of the base to build out. But I mean, the volume on this move up, on all the moves up compared to the pullbacks, really showing some strength. Very little sellers, just short-term sellers like myself taking profit into strength. Yeah, if we could take out yesterday's high, Monday's high of, let's see here, of 1215, that would be where I would want to put on the trade. Yes, and those were all the stocks. I did say the wrong possible buy point for ACB, so let me get that one again. So today's high, 1295 for ACB. All right, let's see. Chat. Sorry, still getting used to this without E-Trade. So, all right. All right, let me jump to a couple of the names that I got on Stocktwits, and then I'm seeing your guys' comments. We'll get to those. PLTR Palantir, tried that today. I got stopped out of that, but no hard feelings. We'll find another time to trade it. All right, so this is CRM. One thing that I don't like to trade is stocks that are below their 50-day moving average. So CRM just got over that today with the move, up 2.5%. A lot of, I don't know, not showing good relative strength. The market's been really strong. Why has this been so weak? Just starting to turn up here. It does have kind of like a mini inverse head and shoulder, so that could work for your system. Does not work for my system. I want to see This kind of proved itself back over its 50-day before I take the trade. CRM. I have this set for 4 months, but maybe let me jump it to 8 and update. So see what I'm talking about here? This has been trading down since September. Market's made new highs since September. Why is this so weak? As a breakout trader, momentum trader, whatever you want to call yourself, swing trader, I only want to be trading the strongest stocks. If this proves itself as a strong stock, no hard feelings. It went through its base building week period, whatever, but don't want to trade a stock like this until it proves how strong it is. Kind of on that same category, FSLY, FSLY, had that big earnings drop where this was a name all the breakout traders were trading, all the growth stock traders were trading, dumped like 30%. Let's measure it. So yeah, and this is why you don't just buy the dip. 36% down in one day after hours because of the earnings announcement. And then if you're like, oh, this is a good company that just sold off on earnings, let's buy the dip. Okay, but if you bought the dip at the low of the first pullback day, you had another 27% down until you hit the low. I'm not taking a 27% loss. No one should be taking a 27% loss. All my stops are 7% or less because the whole point of trading is take small losses, let your winners run. And if you're buying the dip just blindly without support stepping in, and you're not using tight stops, you're going to get the low probability trades. The more you're just buying into a pullback, the lower probability the trade is. And then if you're letting your losers run and cutting winners short, that's a recipe for disaster. Since then, it has started to build a little bit of strength here. So let's measure the first up. So moved up 73% from that low. Let's see, pullback 24%. Had a fake breakout. Had 2 days pivot here, and then moved 12% up and flushed that 12% move on the same day. Since then, traded sideways on really light volume. So actually, I did not have this on my watch list, but here's me saying no hard feelings for trading sideways and down now. This looks pretty good. Really low volume. I like that. Holding the 8-day exponential. It did close lower today, right on the 8-day, but then we get into my other favorite. If we can take out the lows here and then move, like take out the lows tomorrow, whatever, and then trade sideways for a little bit, take out the highs later on in the week, really solid trade. So I forget who told me to check this out, but thank you for doing that because I had not had this on my watch list for a while. This is FSLY. Facebook next. Yeah, so Facebook under the 50-day simple moving average. I'll keep this pretty quick because I'm trying to get through a lot of stocks here. Lots of selling volume on the way down, lower volume on the way up. Not doing the things that I would want to see with the stock. Relative strength has been going down since September. Not what we're looking for. INTC, Intel. 200-day just starting to get in an uptrend. That's one of my tells as well. I want the 200-day in a strong uptrend, at least 1 month long. I don't exactly know the story behind why this has been taking such a long time, but the volume also tells quite a bit of story. People are selling this off just now, starting to move it higher, but I mean from 64 to 55, that's I don't want to be trading that name. Next we have United Airlines, another one, 200-day just starting to get in an uptrend. Not over its March's highs. Airlines before everything happened weren't a really strong name, so maybe you played it for the bounce. I'm not one to play bounces, but now from 51 to 41 down, what is that, 20%? not something I want to be trading. Lots of selling. Let me zoom back here. Higher selling volume as well. Really low relative strength. Let's focus on the strongest ones, guys. Strongest stocks. Another one that I got was Boeing. Same story. High selling volume. Had a nice move up with all the vaccine news, but went from 240 to 200. That's down 20%. 200-day kind of just starting to turn up, but Boeing had issues before everything happened too. So next we have SOLO. This is a trade that I put on today with very light position size. It's on my breakout watch list. Has a really good base going here after a move from 250 to what is it, $12, something like that. So almost 6 times the move. Did pull back. Nice action here as I mean every move higher gives the short-term traders a reason to leave. And now we're starting to see volume flip where big volume on the way out, big volume on the way out. This is the one strike against the chart, but nice low volume pullback. Today we got a little bit of higher volume as it supported the 20-day simple moving average, and we closed above the 8. So maybe a little bit of, I don't know. I'm looking back on this. I don't know if I would have taken this trade again in hindsight, but do have a diagonal working here that may be a possible buy point. Maybe take out today's high and I'll add to it, but that's SOLO. VERU, I got stopped out of this trade today. This was I don't think a high tight flag. Let's measure. Let's see, 380% up, so really strong move up, but yeah, 32% down. Since then, it had about 6 weeks of base building here. Typically, you want 8 to 10 weeks, but not bad. Volume started doing the right thing on this candle that started to move higher. 2-day pullback, and it undercut the low. I bought at a break over Friday's high. That's where I put on the trade. Moved up. It was up 10% or so on the trade, so I moved my stop to my entry. Got stopped out with no loss on the trade. So no bad blood on the name. But this kind of candle, that looks ugly while the market was so hot today. So why is it showing weakness while everything else is strong? Might need a little bit more time to set up. This is VERU. RESN. Ooh, interesting look. Let me notice the volume. Always take a look at volume, guys. That helps, gives hints to the chart. So people are bidding this up, and then once it goes sideways, no one's selling. Even on this pullback, let's see, annotate, measure. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm still getting used to this after E-Trade just refuses to work all week. I would not keep my money there. Down 21% on the pullback, lower volume on the extension, and then boom, got volume on the breakout over this kind of mini quick pivot, 3 days highs, all the same price. That would have been a nice turning point buy. I didn't take it. A little bit much on that upper wick. So the sellers that came in right around this price also came in when it hit there. So maybe this sets up a little bit down the road, and then we could take out that high with some pressure, 701. So right around a round number too. So let's keep. I'll set an alert for 7. If it breaks out, then we'll check the volume on the breakout and maybe take the trade. But RESN, definitely going to add it to my overall watch list because, I mean, this type of power, let's see, what was the move? 230% and then a 23% pullback into a nice turn like this. I mean, these are the setups that we're looking for. And there are going to be setups that happen all the time in a bull market. So I'm never chasing a stock. Once it's moved past a buy point, I take a look at it. I want to look like, oh, what did this chart do well? So I can learn to identify the next chart that's setting up before it breaks out. But I never chase a stock that breaks out because the next one's right around the corner if we're in a good market. And if we're in a bad market, well, I don't want to be taking the next trade that's not going to be a good setup. This is RESN. XL, yeah, everyone's been talking about this. I still think this has more time to base out here. Let's see, do some measuring. So that first pullback, 44%, and then we undercut that, which I did like to see 47%. Might have even undercut that. Let's see, low 1851, low 1852. Missed it by 1 cent, but I mean, basically the same right there. So overall down 48% off the highs here. Typically that takes 8 to 10 weeks to build out a base, and this has only been maybe 5 weeks. So starting to do the right things. We got good volume on the way up, low volume on the red days here, but let's let it kind of carve out the right side of the base before trying to buy it. I don't know. I'm not an in the base buyer. I want to be buying on the way out. If your system's different, then by all means, you have your system. I'm just calling out what I'm seeing. FPGY? Is this right? No. Can't read my own handwriting. We'll come back to that. All right, last one I got from Stocktwits was BIGC. And I wanted to move this out to like 7 months and update. Yeah, so see, this is still kind of trending down, undercut that low, moved higher, starting to get good volume on the way out, which is, oh, sorry, getting used to it. Good volume on the way out, which is something that we look for. 3 days of pulling back, and then we got an undercut, that nice long lower wick, ran it back up to close right at the 8-day with the same type of volume. So this could be a pullback buy opportunity if we take out yesterday's high point. But I mean, this is still, you're just starting to turn up on the right side of the base here. But I mean, this kind of volume, someone's buying this, and it's not just me and you. It's some institutions. That's a good amount of volume there. So Big C, gonna add this to my watch list. Thanks for calling it out on Stocktwits. What was the other one? TPGY. TGPY. Can't even read my own handwriting. All right, let's go. No. TPG. Sorry about that. All right. Looking good. Yeah, this looks really nice. Let's see here. Let's annotate it. Do some measurements. So IPO here. Let's see, first pullback 33%, then we 81% on the way up, 31, 35. This is the first time I'm seeing this chart. That's why I'm doing all these measurements. Starting to put in some higher lows here. So boom, boom, boom. Pullback's getting lighter, 23%, 19%. Ideally, we get another pullback here, and then that sets up today's high as a possible buy point. Otherwise, let's see what the diagonal look like. Yeah, if we could get another pullback day and really take out both the diagonal and then today's high as a pivot point, so that confluence of indicators for the entry, that would be ideal. So yeah, I'm gonna put this on my watch list as well. Man, whoever was sending me stocks to check out on Stocktwits today, you guys did a great job. Keep that up. And if you don't follow me on Stocktwits, make sure you follow me there because that's where I post most often. All right, let's get to your guys' charts in the chat. Sorry it took so long. I'm still getting used to the system. PLTR, let's do it. All right, Palantir. I think I covered this earlier, but when everyone's looking for the same exact like buy point, the same chart, typically the market does the opposite. So everyone's looking at this flag, right? So of course we get over it a little bit, sucker in the traders, and then it flushes. I can say that because I did it to myself. Thankfully, I did sell some into strength, some at half, some at a loss. So it was basically break even trade, not too bad. Kathy Woods bought it around here. You see the big volume when ARK bought it. And then I bought it a second time when it broke over the high here, $37. Tons of volume. So again, I'm only trying to buy those high volume breakouts. Good volume on the move up through $37. Sold some into strength. I got stopped out of the rest because I was a little too jumpy taking profits and getting out of the market, but that's something I still need to work on. I take profits, I take trades off a little bit too quick, but because of that, I'll never take a big loss, which is definitely my strength. But since then, pulled back, lower volume. I did try and take the trade similar to BLNK when we undercut these lows and then we ran up over it early on in the day. I thought that was just a quick flush and then we were going to get going. So I was able to get a 2% stop on the trade, 2 or 3% stop on the trade, because I just used the daily low as my stop, and then we came through there. And we did sell off on higher volume today. This might need some like check back to kind of this breakout point at $37. I want to say $37, something like that. Not 37, 28. I don't know how I got 37. $28, the high from this day. Maybe we need to pull back to that, pull back to the 20-day simple moving average. But typically after this kind of move, let's see, I want to say this was like a 30% pullback now. Yeah. Again, after a 30% pullback, like we're going to move, we're going to get a bounce at some point, but that first bounce after a 30% pullback does typically get sold off because there are people that got in up here and they might want to take the trade off for break even. So a little trading psychology there where if it's only 25% or less, not many people have been caught up at the top. So with this kind of move, first breakout or first kind of bounce might get sold off, but I mean, this kind of volume, definitely one you want to watch for. This is Palantir. Workhorse. Workhorse has been such a hard chart to gauge, at least for my system. Let's zoom out, get the full picture, and update. So had this move in, this kind of flag was after a 300 or something percent move, finally broke out, flushed all the way back, and then this is just really large movements. Not call out, sorry. Like from the peak here, that's a 50% drop, and then we have 100% move up into another 38% drop, another breakout, 20% drop. So, man, like I don't know. I stayed away from this chart. I haven't traded this since somewhere in here, but just kind of all over the place. Good volume the last couple extensions. Maybe that's part of the short squeeze that everyone's been looking for. Everyone's been looking for high short interest names. Lower volume pullback today. Ideally, that volume or that pullback continues, and maybe we tighten up for a trade in the future. But man, I haven't been able to find a good buy point on this name. But better traders than me have. So let's see, MMEDF. Have not heard of that. MMEDF. Okay. So smaller name. Let's do some measuring. 600% up. 48% down. Peaked in December. So yeah, so with that 44% pullback, because it's more than 25, we typically want to see around 8 weeks. December, we might be getting close. All right, let's draw a diagonal. Did we undercut the low here? No. So this is a little bit larger volume during the sell that I would like to see. And because of that, I'm going to wait until this kind of moves higher. Somewhere around these highs, 390 or so. I might wait till like 390. Well, I mean, I don't trade stocks under 5, so I won't be trading this until it gets over 5, where, let's see, 507 was the high. So maybe once this proves itself, we can trade it, but that's what I'm looking at, that diagonal, that high. A little bit more volume in the sell than you would like to see. NSCO. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please leave a like. Helps me out. Yeah, this is one I think I was watching this, but I don't know. This is kind of like wedging up. Had a good flush here. It's hard to tell volume because of this day kind of messes everything up. Volume 114,000. Really thinly traded name. I don't know. Something about this chart I don't love. Yeah, I'm not going to say any more on that because it's hard to tell on here without like hiding the volume on that. ZI. Kind of in a base period. Let's zoom out here. Is there? Oh, there's an update right there. Yeah, still kind of basing out. Let's do 11 months. There it is. Okay. Ooh, this looks pretty good. All right. ZI. Let me write that down really quick. This looks pretty interesting. All right, let's zoom back in. Let's do 6 months. That sell-off is a little aggressive. We got a good volume day there. Look at that. We undercut the low, took out the high on high volume on the right side of base. Man, that would have been a perfect buy point right over yesterday's high. Dang it. Should have looked at this earlier. Man, this one looks good. Definitely going to have this on my watch list. Thanks for bringing this one up. Yeah, if we can open lower, take out the high, that would be buyable too. ZI. Good call out. First time watching your channel. Oh, good, good. Glad you like it. NAKD. I think that's one of the short squeeze stocks. I'm not trading. Oops. I'm not trading any of those names. It's under $5 too, down 35%. Yeah, not looking to try and take these guys on. You just got to know what stocks work for you. So I'm always looking for stocks in strong uptrends, 200-day and an uptrend for at least a month. Stocks above the 50-day and always showing some strength. This, I mean, I don't know. I can't say too much on this. It doesn't fit my criteria. APH alpha, right? APH. Oh, yes, that was the one I was thinking of. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, look at that. Flag, boom, good volume. So that's why I want to try ABC, not ABC, ACB tomorrow because this industry is working. Tomorrow is good. Yep, yep. Manager. Yeah, with Neo, I had that on my watch list as well. Let's jump to that really quick. I don't like it. Doesn't look good. It does have lower volume in this kind of pullback, but yesterday it closed red. Today it closed in the lower half of the chart, and the market's been ripping. So if the market's been like really bouncing off the pullback here, and Neo's not, I don't know. That's concerning to me. I don't want to trade the weak stocks. So if this is showing weakness, let's either put our money on the side until we can get some strength, until it proves itself, or let's trade stronger stocks. AMD, I think that's still in a base period. Let's see. Yeah, so AMD under the 50-day, don't like that. So I wouldn't trade that. This was a nice base that I think I bought in November somewhere here. But yeah, don't Don't love that. Let's see, what else do you guys want to see? Space, SPCE. That one's been a monster. Yeah, red candle today down 10%. A lot of the high short interest stuff is starting to turn around. So, I mean, if you play a move like this, you definitely sell some into strength up 100% or so. But yeah, that's a concerning candle. Maybe this needs some time to pull back. You're still, let's see, 47 to 35, 12, 33% above the 20-day moving average. So has a way to go if it does pull back drastically. Chart is a bit low. Yeah, sorry. I still trying to get this better. CLNE. Yeah, so my price on that one, sorry guys, 1120 is a possible buy point. The high from January 28th for CLNE. Do I think Amazon will hit 3,500 on Friday's close? I don't know. It's a little too, I don't know. I don't like making price predictions because I have no idea what's going to happen in the market. I'm just trying to look at what's going on. And earnings is always a coin flip. Like they had great earnings, but Bezos is stepping down as CEO. It was flat at the close at 7 p.m. Central Time today. Is it flat at the open, or does it get sold off? I mean, who knows? Let's see what tomorrow's open brings. That'll probably tell us. CNET. Yeah, I have no opinion on this. Yeah, stocks under $5 don't typically trade with the same patterns that I look for, so we'll just hold my opinion. PSNL. That's concerning. That volume bounced off the 50-day. Has been holding the 50-day all the way up, so maybe that was fine. But I'm just a little concerned with the market that a lot of things are making the turn and bouncing on lower volume. So if I'm going to put any new trades on as they're turning around, I want to see volume coming in. And with this low volume, it did recapture the 20, did recapture the 8, but volume's getting lower on the bounce, which typically means the next time it flushes after a higher volume flush, it'll do so again. So I don't know. Market's been volatile. Maybe it just goes higher from here with a quick bounce, but I'm going to be a little bit more cautious with everything. PGNY, yeah, thanks. AQMS, aquatic metals, low volume pullback to the 8-day. Let's see. Yeah, I got to get used to stock charts. I love their candle glance feature, their watch list features, and their scanners. It's a really nice system. I pay like the middle portion, the $25 a month one. Well worth $25 a month, in my opinion. 742 up, that's massive. There's some volume name behind that. 31% back, lower volume on it. Really nice candle today. No one disagreed on the price, very low volume. Yeah, I mean, this could be one that just breaks over like today's high, yesterday's high, and takes off. But after that kind of pullback, but we always close. I don't know. I'm talking myself into it. I'll set alerts, and then if it goes, probably go without me. But some good volume through here. Little volume on the way back. Yeah, definitely one to watch. AQMS. Sorry, I gotta get lower on that volume. All right, and we covered space. So that is going to be the midweek movers. Whoops. Midweek movers live stream. Thank you for holding with me while I get used to stock charts for displaying everything and walking through them. Done with E-Trade, so man, very frustrating with them. I'm moving all my money out, and they created a box spread on one position So instead of selling my long shares, they created an opened a short position. So I'm sitting with two opposing positions, keeping my money in E-Trade without a chance to pull it out. And then I was on the phone for 4 hours before my phone died, and then was online chat with them trying to like get someone to chat with for 9 hours today. I stepped away 15 minutes for dinner, and they're not there, and they closed the chat. So done with them, on to Thinkorswim. So far, the platform's been good, but there's trading risk with that, and I have to get used to that platform before I start putting on large trades till I'm really comfortable with it. So that's my 2 cents. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Stocktwits, Twitter, and TikTok, and I'll see you guys on Friday for the trading recap. Take care.